Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the fantastic questions in the first session. I'd like to continue the momentum and keep them coming. As I excitedly, so excited, Peter, I can't even get your name out. As I excitedly welcome Peter Nitschke from Plastic Bank to the virtual stage. Peter is a global director for the community partnership at Plastic Bank, and he has an impressive background working in leadership positions for various NGOs and academic institutions. His expertise in reducing ocean plastic brings a fresh perspective to today's conversation. So a big welcome to you, Peter. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, very excited to be here.
Great stuff. And I'm excited I also got your name right. So I'm just going to quickly ask you a question, Peter, before we get started. Just tell us something, an interesting fact about you that not many people know to break the ice.
Well, I'm originally a farmer's boy from Bavaria who grew up in a very small farmer's village with 50 people. And when I was a kid, I said, this is the most beautiful place on earth. I will never leave it. I will grow old there. And then I ended up in Metro Manila, a city of 15 million, where I stayed for 21 years doing poverty projects.
Wow, 50 people. That's insane. And now 50. Whoa, a big increase. So that's really interesting, Peter. Thank you so much. I'm going to give the stage to you for a quick moment, as I believe you have some slides to share with us.
That's correct. I will just share my screen.
Go for that.
Okay, here's the first slide, but I have basically just put the slide to support your questions. So I think we just can go ahead with your questions, and I will just show the slides as they fit to the answers.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I don't know actually whether, first of all, you might just want to give a very, very quick introduction to Plastic Bank, because there might be some people who are joining us today who haven't heard of Plastic Bank. Maybe just quickly tell us, whereabouts you're operating and the goal of Plastic Bank, and we can get into some of the content.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So Plastic Bank is a social enterprise that was started 10 years ago by Mr. David Katz in Vancouver. And the goal is to prevent ocean plastic and stop poverty by selling plastic as a fair trade raw material back into the industry. And now we are operating in the Philippines, in Indonesia, Cameroon, Thailand, Egypt, and Brazil. And we have more than 600 collection points, and we have collected so far more than 80 million kilograms of plastic that have all been recycled. Wow,
that's a huge number. Very, very commendable. Of course, there's lots of different projects addressing plastic waste and poverty alleviation. Maybe tell us a little bit more about how the digital platform provided by Plastic Bank enables traceable, transparent supply chain. How does it build trust? What about accountability? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So as we all know, the plastic problem is gigantic, and about 11 million kilos of plastic go into the ocean every year. And so our goal is to prevent it from entering there, so we don't have to fish it out, which is very difficult. And we're using a digital supply chain to trace and to be transparent about how we work. And our idea is to build plastic collection infrastructures where there is none existing, mostly in countries in the global south, where also there is a lot of poverty. And our digital blockchain technology is all about transparency in that way that every piece of plastic that's being collected is being recorded in our database, and different stakeholders are being involved in that. So these are the plastic collectors and the collection communities who can trace how much they have collected. Then there are the collection centers which can use the plastic app as an inventory, and then you have the brands who are buying the plastic. They can see how much impact they have created, what social services have been used that will help to improve people's lives. And so using the blockchain technology, which cannot be to be hacked or manipulated, we have a very trustworthy, transparent and traceable supply chain of collected plastic from collection until the product is being going to the market as a recycled social plastic product.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fantastic. So this is a really innovative solution to the plastic waste problem that we're all aware of. But what about the scalability, the efficiency? Tell me a little bit more as well about the impact that this really has in terms of the local community that live there.
Yeah, one thing maybe I need to mention before that is that basically we bring together global brands and the local community. So this is what makes it possible for us to impact the community is the big brands buying the commodity from us, like for example SC Johnson, which has become our partner since 2018, and through this partnership with SC Johnson, we have collected about 25 million kilograms of plastic and impacted the life of about 15,000 people because SC Johnson is aligned with our mission, and they're using that material in their Windex bottles and in their Mr. Muscle bottles that are made basically out of social plastic, because SC Johnson has this vision also to stop ocean plastic and impact communities. And so how do we scale this? This is because through the digital platform, it can be easily scaled because the plastic is there, the people are there who are eager to collect it. Because of poverty, there is a need for people to find livelihood, and so they feel that we are giving them an honest deal because they can trace how much they have collected. Like every collector has a profile that they can see, okay, this is the plastic that I have collected. These are the digital tokens that I got for it. This is the money that I got for it. And with these digital tokens, I can unlock certain services. So these are not just digital tokens on the screen. These are real life digital tokens that people can use to unlock certain services with our partners. And so in 2022, we have basically given away, in addition to the market price of the plastic, we have given away $2 million of digital tokens, which people have used to improve their lives.
Wow. So, I mean, that's quite interesting. So basically what you're talking about is the user profiles are there for collectors on a digital platform to collect tokens. And then these tokens unlock different opportunities. Is that right? That
is correct, absolutely correct. And if you look at what kind of digital tokens they get, is that are basically food vouchers, that's health insurance, that is digital connectivity, that is mobile banking, and so we have unlocked those services to thousands of people who had a real life transformation about it. So there are two stories that I would like to tell you to people, and I think where you can really see what it means. You know, these are two of our collectors from Indonesia, and Budino, he was a bus driver who lost his job because of the lockdown during the COVID, you know, so suddenly he had no more income. And so he heard about Plastic Bank. He started to collect plastic, and he had a family of of 7, so they're 8 altogether. And because of the food vouchers and the money he earned with the plastic, he was able to sustain and feed his family during the pandemic. And so for him, that was really a matter of survival, so to speak, where Plastic Bank helped them to get through the pandemic in that way. Another lady is Wati. She is a wage laborer at the public market. So as a wage laborer, one day you have a job, you have income, another day you have maybe nothing. And because of Plastic Bank, she was able to earn so much that she could not only buy enough for her medicine, she could even support her grandchildren going to school. And for the first time, this 62-year-old lady was able to have a mobile money banking account where she was able to start even to save money and put it on the side. And those are where you can see that this is the story, 2 stories of thousands where life have been changed and people can work themselves out of poverty at the same time also protecting the environment.
Yeah, absolutely. These are amazing stories. We've got some questions from the audience. Alan says, "Hi Jenny and Peter. I work for Coca-Cola Africa. Does Plastic Bank have an existing relationship with Coke anywhere in the world?"
Yes, we do have 2. We have one is we are supplying Coca-Cola in the Philippines. There is a new, basically cradle-to-cradle PET recycling plant in the Philippines, of which Coke mostly getting their supply of recycled PET. And so we are one of the suppliers of Coke there in the Philippines. And we also have a connection, I think, with Coca-Cola Foundation in Indonesia for some projects as well.
Putting you on the spot there, but good Peter. We've got another comment actually from Maria. Ocean pollution is defo a gigantic issue. Totally agree with Peter. Some great stories and case studies. Thank you for sharing. But I don't really understand, how can connected packaging help to combat it?
Well, a lot of packaging is made out of plastic, so to speak. And what you have seen, the idea of what SC Johnson is doing, that's packaging material, right, in the bottles, which made out of social plastic, and this can also be recycled. And in that way, I think if you see the connectedness of all the supply chains, I can see that if more and more packaging being also connected digitally and can be traced, and I think a lot of environmental laws are now expecting traceable supply chain, and I think that Plastic Bank can create a wonderful service to the packaging industry because of the traceable supply chain and ethical supply chain. You know, there's also a lot now about SCG and human rights, and though we can really vouch that the plastic that is collected is not only traceable, it's also ethically sourced.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, putting a QR code onto some of that packaging and really allowing the consumers to understand the great benefits that actually purchasing this product is enabling them to have, because, you know, it's the ability to be able to have that gateway, to be able to have that communication point, to be able to say to the consumers, actually, look, this is what Coca-Cola or SC Johnson or whoever is the brand who is involved with Plastic Bank can say, hey, look, this is actually what we're doing by, you know, purchasing this product. You're actually part of this particular effort, which of course is fantastic.
Exactly right, Jenny, because the consumers are more and more also environmentally aware, and they want also their brands to supply them with sustainable and ethically sourced products. And so I think it is a good, what you would call that, a good win-win solution for the consumer, for the brand, and for the planet, and for the people in the communities.
Yeah, exactly. For everybody, I fully agree there. You know, there is no downside at all. We've got 2 questions from Charlie. Charlie, I don't know if you can also help me to understand your first one around data. Are you talking about the data that Plastic Bank are able to collect? In the meantime, Charlie asks, what kind of formal or technical learning are you giving citizens to teach them about the environmental dangers of plastic and your solution from Plastic Bank? And if so, who pays for this learning? Are you able to help with that, Peter?
Yes, we have created a curriculum for schools in Indonesia. We work also with schools in the countries where we operate to teach the next generation on being more responsible consumers, and we have created a 12-lesson school curriculum that teaches people about being responsible consumers and also about waste segregation, proper waste management techniques. And we have set up also collection points in schools where the kids can teach their families to segregate their waste at home and bring the plastic to schools. And we buy it from the schools. And as in the global south, often countries have a low budget for education, the schools use that money to improve the education for the children. So we started this on a number of grants that we won to set this up. But then is also as the plastic from the schools also goes into our supply chain, then of course this also creates revenue for us, which of course partly we give back to the schools as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, we all know that the biggest problem when it comes to, or one of the biggest problems when it comes to recycling is that people don't know where to put what colour bin does this need to go into. So if we can start teaching at school level, then of course, kids are always telling us what to do and what we don't know. So that sounds like a fantastic way to really start that. And again, having collection centres at school sounds fantastic to me. Going back to Charlie's question about the data, so his question was the data that you're collecting on the efficiency of the product and any other relevant data, is that open or is it proprietary?
Well, it's not really open in that way. It is mostly for our own operation and then for our partner brands who are, so to speak, our customers in buying the plastic. And for them, we provide for each brand has their own dashboard where they can basically track where the plastic was collected, when it was collected, what benefits did the people get that collected it. And the only thing is we have our annual sustainability reports where we publish this data on an annual basis, and that is that sustainability report is available on our website, or you can also contact me. Oops.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will connect anyone who reaches out as well, because I think we've also got an anonymous attendee actually asking about the global footprint. I don't know if you can answer that as well. They're looking for some opportunities maybe for South African brands to become a partner of Plastic Bank, and I think everybody who's listening to you can really understand that win-win-win situation that Plastic Bank are really bringing. Again, so if anybody wants to reach out or be connected, of course we can help connect you. Talking about that global footprint, Peter, tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, we are now basically in 8 different countries, and we want to expand because the plastic problem also is expanding, so we need to expand faster than the plastic problem. So we are very ambitious to grow, and so of course this growth is it needs clients, so to speak, because we are not an NGO, we are a social enterprise, and where partners are willing to work with us and are willing to purchase the raw material and put it into their supply chains for packaging materials, then we are very, very interested to expand. We also have increased our efficiency in expansion. We can expand much faster and cheaper than what we used to be, but we need partners who are willing to use the material, so we can then have also, we can sustain our operations. And South Africa is definitely a very interesting country. Also Latin America, Mexico, Southeast Asia, and even other African countries, like for example, we are in Egypt, but there are also other, and even Eastern Europe would also be very interesting for us to expand it, if local partners are willing and interested to help us to set up shop there.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that as we said before, there's such a fantastic benefit to everybody here, whether it be the local community, whether it be the brands, whether it be the consumer actually being able to support something that is great as well. Samuel is asking the question around recycling plastic, but other types of waste as well. Of course, plastic is only one type of packaging. What about other types of waste?
Yeah, we have started now also a pilot in Egypt with beverage cartons. So beverage cartons also have quite good material, the fiber, and also the plastic inlay. Mostly it's now a plastic inlay, not anymore an aluminum inlay. And so we are piloting on that, and we are going to enlarge that pilot by the end of the year. So this is a very interesting option. And we are also starting to experiment with flexible plastic. So at the moment we are mostly collecting high value plastic that's recyclable. We are also now looking into low value plastic. But what is important for us, that we can find a circular solution to it. So that is something which is very important to us.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to open and expand that sounds fantastic. Charlie's back. He's asking us, how have you, or are you, connecting your work with the ESGs, using this as a mechanism to form partnerships or gain funding?
I think we do. We are in some countries. There are extended producer responsibility laws where we, like in the Philippines, they have just started one. So we are part of that, and companies who have obligations with that extended producer responsibility laws, they can use our service to fulfill that obligations. And we are also working with other companies with their ESG groups, especially through either plastic credits or buying our products, our recycling products. So yes, that's definitely every company that wants us to be part of the ESG solution, they can approach us.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Another quick question is, have you reached out to Marcom, the Caribbean island nation? They're desperate for programs like this, like Grenada. They
have reached out to us. What has been a problem is the transportation costs, because if we buy plastic and we collect plastic and we sell it, we need also to ship it. That is something where we have been a little bit of a problem with the small island nations, because of the capacity to ship it. The transportation costs become so high that nobody can afford to buy it, so to speak. Yeah. The only thing would be if there would be recycling, what you would call that, recycling factories and manufacturing in those islands, that it could be basically the recycling resin can already be used right there. You don't need to transport it anymore. That, I think, would be the best solution, but that's not really our area of expertise.
Yeah.
But if there is somebody who has that expertise and would like to do it and work with us as a collection partner, that will be definitely something we are open to.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great thing to work to fix. Charlie's also agreeing with you. It's very problematic shipping to Ireland. Marcom is trying to fix this, he said. So that's really interesting. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are joining us today who have been quite inspired by what you've talked to us about, which is, you know, fantastic. Can you just maybe tell me a little bit around future developments? What can you see? You talked about, you know, different plastics, but coming back to technology, digital innovation, can you see any other kind of developments? What the future hold?
Of course, I think especially the rise of artificial and intelligence and the Internet of Things and creates a lot of innovative ideas. We not only want to, I told you we already started with schools, but we also want to include offices, households. We want to have a kind of a gamified approach so everybody can be an ocean steward, everybody can bring their plastic to us and get some rewards and some kind of incentives for doing that, maybe not necessarily in a monetary form, even in an idealized form. So we are thinking about that. We are very keen in expanding and working with more brands to create a bigger market for social plastic, especially now with the upcoming global treaty on the preventing of plastic waste that the UN is advancing. I think there is tremendous opportunities for growth for Plastic Bank and also for creating more impact together with our partners.
Yeah, no, definitely. AI is entering all different parts of the world in terms of everything that we do. So I can imagine so many different things, and of course, you know, using connected packaging to help really tell consumers about this, I think will also put more pressure on brands, but also give them new opportunities to be able to involve consumers. There's so much talk because, as I said, you know, in my opening, that sustainability is not a trend. This is something that we need to think about in everything that we do. Whether we are talking as consumers or whether we're talking with our professional hats on, and I think that actually we have huge responsibility, every single person on this planet, to be able to make the small changes, to be able to have an impact together. So, you know, this is a fantastic scheme, a fantastic movement, as you mentioned as well. So thank you so much, Peter. It's been fantastic having you here. You've given us some great insights, some great inspiration and food for thought. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I really, your last words rounded it up very nicely. And I think that it's really the message that we from Plastic Bank can also stand behind. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share today about Plastic Bank. And I hope I was able to inspire you and that we all be ocean stewards and caring for our planet together.
You absolutely did. And there's some great questions from the audience as well. So big thanks
absolutely,
to them. Thank you so much. Well, don't go away. Stick around. We'll be right back after a quick break. We'll be back at 10 past. We'll be joined by Sonia Pelachova. She is sales manager for Vila at Seaman Paper. She's going to be talking to us about Seaman Paper's Ocean campaign and the sustainable impact of the Vela bag and digital innovations. So don't go away. Thank you very much.